Hi everybody, so we're on to a new bit of work. So each week you are going to get 3 different challenges. One will be a dance of some sort that we can learn or you can practice and do. The second one will be a fitness challenge if we were working on our fitness, and the third thing will be a skills challenge, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So just now what we're going to work on is catching. Okay, so there's lots of different ways we can work on this, and I'm going to show you some of the ways that I'd like you to try. Now as you get better, if you find it too easy, try the next one. So the first one we're going to use is just a bit of material. Now I've got a kind of little baby's towel that we're going to use, and we can use that. The reason we want to use that is because it'll go a bit slower in the air. Okay, so what we can practice is 2 hands, throwing it up and catching with 2 hands. Throw with 2 hands, catch with 2 hands. As we get better with that, we can throw with 1, catch with 1, throw with 1, catch with 1. And if we can try the other hand as well. Throw and catch, and then we can throw from one hand to the other hand. Okay, now this is nice and light. Okay, and we can use that, and that's quite a nice thing. It also becomes, as you can see, quite big. Okay, so a little bit of cloth, something like that, or a hanky. Paper hankies are quite good, or kitchen sheet of the kitchen roll would be quite good. Okie doke. So that's where we're going to start. Just using that, throwing, and I should point out at this point, we're only practicing with ourselves. We're not throwing it to somebody else, and somebody's not throwing it to us. We're just practicing that throw and catch, and we can use different things. So we might want to move on to a balled up socks. Okay. Yeah, they're clean, it's okay. Right, so again, throwing with 2 hands, catch with 2 hands. Now these are going to go a little bit faster, okay, and that's okay. Alright, now, I should point out at this point, if you think that's a little bit tricky, then what you might want to do, now I have got a bean bag, okay, I've got bean bags, but you might want to take one of your socks and fill it with rice, or get a bag, a sandwich bag, and fill that with rice. And the reason being, is if I put my socks in my pocket just now, when you throw in the bean bag, when you go to catch it, it won't bounce, okay? It'll just, so as long as you get close to it, or you get it underneath it, you'll be able to catch it, okay? With the socks, when you get close, they're not too bad, it did bounce, but sometimes it might bounce and it might be a wee bit harder to grip round. Okay, so again, I'll just use back to the bean bag. So we're throwing and catching. Throw with 2 hands, catch with 2 hands. Then again, practice 1 hand and the other hand, and then we can throw it from hand to hand, okay? All these skills are good to practice, okay? And then you can switch back to your socks again, 2 hands again, and from one hand, other hand, same hand, etc. Okay? Once we get good at that, then I don't have a tennis ball, but you can move on to a tennis ball, an actual ball. That would be quite good. Okay, I should point out, the reason I've not used balloons is because a balloon doesn't go in straight lines. It kind of goes and moves about in the air. The items I've used are more predictable, and they'll go in straight lines. You can use a balloon, but it can be a little bit trickier. Okay. Then what we're going to use is, I've got a little mini basketball, could be a football, could be any ball that you want and of any size. What I should point out, the bigger the ball is, the harder it is to catch. Okay, so in relation to, it can go so far and it's quite easy, and then when you get too big, so if you think on a big beach ball, trying to get your arms around it to be able to catch it is quite tricky. Okay, so I'm just going to use this ball. Same thing again, using 2 hands. I'll stand side on so you can see it a wee bit more. There, and I will just throw and catch, throw and catch. Now for some it might be easier to throw bigger, but the problem with that is that when we go to throw bigger, we sometimes throw it behind our head, and that's not what we want. We want to just throw straight up and down. Now I'm hitting the roof there, so just up and down, nice and slow, up and down, throwing with 2 hands, catch with 2 hands. Once we get that, then if you can and the ball's the right size, we can try and throw and catch with 1 hand. Now, we'll move on to catching when you're getting it from somebody next week, okay? But if you want to practice a little bit just now, if you find that your hands, you're just not catching it all the time with your hands, you can throw it and then give it a hug. Throw it and then give it a hug, and you'll hear that hitting the microphone there. So that's one thing that we're going to move on to in the next couple of weeks. But for just now, if you need to practice that, you can practice that. If not, I would try and just throw and catch, throw and catch. And then we can do just with one hand, and then changing, trying to do with the other hand, and then we can try and change. Now this all depends if the ball is the right size for your hands. Don't worry if you can't do that. Okay. As you get better, you can start to throw it higher, okay, and see if you can catch it after that. See how many times you can throw it and catch without dropping it. Lots of little challenges like that. Okay, take care. Make sure you take photos. Make sure you send them in to me and enjoy. And over the course of the weeks, we're going to build up our skills so we can do lots of different movements and lots of different ball skills as well. Okay, take care. Bye for now.